This is the Sony Xperia Tipo that's released in 2012 and I used it in 2022 for a week. So let's talk. Okay, even though the hardware on this phone is nowhere near to the standards of 2022, I really loved carrying this phone around as it weighs in barely 100 grams. And we don't see such phones lying around these days, do we? On the design front, I really liked it. I mean the colors, the look and mainly the Xperia and Ericsson partnership logo, it's super cool. But one thing I really don't understand is why should the company leave this big chin down here unused? They could have used it to potentially make the screen bigger, right? Now on the material side, this is completely plastic built just like every other phone of that era and I don't hate it. Actually, apart from all the common negatives we see about plastic, there are equal benefits too. One, it's removable. And yes, it's also easily repairable. And also, it's cheap. And this quality, I'm talking about plastic being cheap, would actually bring the cost of the final product down. Now as for the internals, this thing is powered by Snapdragon S1 with Adreno 200 GPU. It has 512 MB of RAM and 3 GB internal memory. See, on the performance front, this thing is never intended or made to be a great performer. It's a mid-range device and that clearly shows. Actually, it's far more slower than a mid-ranger of 2022, but that's the whole point. The future of these phones, which is our current present, might have made phones costlier, but they've also made them much powerful. So being using this phone for almost a week now, there are certain things in current generation of mobiles that I'm really grateful for and also a few that I'm not so grateful for. Okay, let's start with the things that are better in current generation of phones. I'm actually very happy that the charging ports were completely moved down instead of having it to the side or up top. Both of them were quite uncomfortable. Speaker placement. Most of the newer models have speakers down here and that's the way it should be. Having it on the back of the device like in here is one easy way to block sound. Also, these used to be thick with 3 Cs. I'm not even exaggerating. Compared to what we have now, these feel a lot thicker. And sometimes I even feel, even though these old phones are not as thick on paper, they feel much thick due to its smaller form factor. Now on to the things that these phones were good at. There were actually two things and I knew most of you would know it. It's the headphone jack and removable batteries. I know you would have heard people complaining about headphone jack and you might be tired of hearing it again. But it's one of the changes that I would never be ready for. I mean I would love to pick a normal wired earphones instead of the Galaxy Buds Plus that I'm currently using. And that's a big statement to make and I stand by it. Now talking about the software side of things, this thing runs Android 4.0.4 out of the box and even now. And to say it's decent. Sony's customization on top of Android 4.0 used to look very cool that time. I mean way back when this phone is released. But using it in today's world feels a little incomplete. The notification panel has nothing except notifications. It just has this settings icon right here, which means you have to go to settings to kinda do anything. Turn on Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, mobile data, literally anything, you have to go to settings. But there is a workaround for this, which is this widget right here that has everything that should have been there in the notification panel. And even though I'm able to use it through this widget, it feels too incomplete. Okay, the next thing is I normally use Google Assistant to do basic stuff like setting alarms, etc. So immediately after switching, I realized the only voice button these phones have is this Google mic and it cannot do everything that Assistant could do. And yeah, it's okay. I don't expect Google Assistant to be present in this one, it's stupidity. But that's something that I noticed. Apart from these smaller things, I felt that this software is something that I can use, not only for a week but actually more than that. It's not too old. And yeah, one honorable mention, this phone has a kind of always on display, but that's hidden in the clock application. You see this time right here, it just stays like that. Cool, right? Moving on to the camera, photos are nothing great on this device. It actually has that old vibe to it, and I don't think anyone who used the modern camera centric phones would use them. I don't usually take a lot of photos or videos except for YouTube, and it kind of worked out for me. This whole smartphone is powered by a 1500 mAh cell, which puts this phone under every single phone that I've used in the past year, and that should be right. The battery trends have gotten so better such that even a 6000 mAh feels like, okay, it's 6000 mAh, fine. Right now this phone does not come for more than 4 hours, which is okay. It's a very old battery and batteries do degrade over time. So to conclude things off, this is definitely a different experience. Having to use such a small phone is not an easy task, but neither difficult. It's just that these phones doesn't have the speeds we are used to. Nonetheless, it's always fun to do stuff like this. So, if you guys like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more amazing technology content. Like always, I will talk to you in the next one.